We're going to shift now all the way northeast to Sacramento.
Well, thank you so much for having us. This has been a really exciting journey with Santa Cruz. Especially, it's been a unique experience for us as a county office. Not only do we support our Sacramento districts, but this team specifically has looked at our SCOE schools, so our county schools. We have about 2,000 students, and as you'll learn, we're at the very beginning phases of just helping our teachers and our students with technology, but it's been an exciting ride.
So our team, our SCOE team, is made up of 6 individuals. We have Tani, who just spoke. She's a coordinator of our educational technology and digital learning. Jared is the director of computer science and digital learning. Andrew Brooks, the director of computer network and telecommunication support. Jesse Stores is our teacher of library and media instructor, and Jen Kunkel is a vice president in one of our SCOE schools. And my name is Joe Linehan, and I'm a program specialist in assistive technology in our special education department. So I just wanted to call out, we have a very diverse work background and experience on our team. And some of the areas represented include instructional digital learning, computer science, information technology, library and information digital literacy, special education, school administrators, and educators. So having such a diverse team has really helped us approach this through a variety of lenses. And I can't say that I would have ever crossed paths with some of you outside of this journey. So I'm very grateful for that, and it's been really fun.
So to start with the why. So this is a video that was originally created for CISC, and we're just going to show kind of a clip of it, but we think it demonstrates the why we're doing this, why we're part of ShiftED in this cohort, and how we got here. The full version of this is on our ShiftED SCOE page if you're interested.
When we learned about ShiftED's project to standardize teaching digital literacy, I knew SCOE needed to be a part of this group that was figuring out what purposeful, accessible, and equitable technology could look like. Students need to be able to maneuver in our digitized society. Our world is changing fast, and it's our job to prepare students for this type of society. ShiftED has given us a place to consider how to support that change. They've helped us build a team with multifarious backgrounds and experience that didn't exist at SCOE before. Most importantly, ShiftED's providing a place where we don't have to develop this roadmap in isolation. It's like they've built the wings, and now we get to figure out how to fly.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at our own definition here. And we have that digital literacy is the ability to navigate our digital world by using reading, writing, and technical skills and critical thinking. It also uses technology to find, create, and evaluate and communicate information, which is part of that informational literacy component. So while we all came from different experiences in the educational field, this whole exercise helped us create a common language and goals for our team, which of course Tani speaks about in the video. Our vision statement reflects that. I'll let you guys read that on your own. That's a little small, but I do want to focus on the equitable and sustainable way that we get technology across our school sites, because our school sites are so different, because our points of view are so different, that putting that into our PDs, putting that into our practice was one of the more important focuses that we hit upon during our team meetings.
As we took a look at our needs assessment, initially we were very siloed. Like Joe had mentioned earlier, a lot of us had never met each other before. Our schools worked very much in isolation. And it was often, we didn't have the communication we needed. So it was great for us to just learn more about the backgrounds that we have and what we were bringing to the table. Definitely came out that we were emerging in all areas, and we were ready to take the next steps towards growth. So let's just go ahead and take a look at a few of the things we've been working on.
All right, so we have another video for you. We did our empathy interviews using Google Forms, excuse me, and Really, we did that because our school sites are incredibly diverse and they just function very differently from each other. So we had to kind of find a common way to get feedback from our students and teachers. And the feedback we got was pretty interesting overall, like participation varied, which was kind of a data point in and of itself. And you see some of the numbers there of how many people we got to participate with us in that. So again, starting at the beginning, we saw that students really want technology and that teachers really need support. So we can roll the video from our empathy interview highlights.
So just as our friends in Santa Clara and Bayview did, we used our initial assessments, the results of our empathy interviews, and we started to plug in some action items directly into the digital roadmap tool. Alongside that activity, we started to build out a timeline. We wanted to think about the 3-year plan that Jason previously mentioned. What is this going to look like for our schools, for our staff? Moving forward. So with that said, we wanted to share with you some of our timeline slides that are in addition to the work we did in the roadmap. We started to think about our experience this year and we realized we're engaged deeply in planning, thinking about what specific digital literacies are an opportunity for growth in our schools. And as previously mentioned, both previous teams identified supports for staff for professional learning. So we've considered this year to be our planning year. Moving forward, we're excited to prioritize support for teachers to address some perceived gaps in our staff. How can I expect this of my students if I don't feel proficient, or this is not my area of expertise, as we saw in the empathy interview results. From there, we're excited to really dive deeply into the student application work. I really admired the slide shared by Bayview, and I'm hopeful that we're going to get similar outcomes for our students moving forward.
So regarding our 3-year plan, year 1 was really prompted by the work we've done here at ShiftED. Tawny did a lot of classroom observations to gather data. Joe, Jen, and Jesse provided context and the processes and procedures that go on at all of their different sites. And then I provided the lens of traditional IT and how can all of this, fit together under some of our purview and how we can come together and work together. We've talked about and discussed different protocols, different practices moving forward, where we can align on professional development and then possible resources that can be used collectively across the organization.
And then as Jared mentioned, year 2 is really where we want to start bringing in that teacher support so they can make this a sustainable practice inside their classroom. We have a professional development team at SCOE, and I'm really excited to bring this work to them to see how can we start embedding ed tech across the content areas that they support. This year, we've kind of unofficially been going with the goers. That's what we like to say in terms of technology in the classroom. So I've been doing some one-on-one coaching with teachers who are receptive to that. And that's a goal for next year to really ramp that up and kind of make my schedule more available to build up some of those teacher leaders on our diverse campuses that can really, in turn support their own colleagues. Some of the other cool things that have come out for year 2 that we're hoping to accomplish is Andrew and I are working on a website where they have resources that they can reference, whether it's, what do I do when a device breaks versus can I see an example lesson with this new app that I'd like to try out. And in fact, a lot of our ShiftED work has led to us possibly doing a presentation at Site and Q, and we're calling it, Ed Tech and IT, frenemies for life. But it speaks to the collaboration needed between what can often be very siloed work, especially at our county office. So we have big plans for year 2.
So I just want to take a minute to applaud the Santa Cruz roadmap tool. I don't think we could have done this without it. It's been instrumental having standards already created in these concentrated areas. Selecting from these standards helped us build a plan that matched our vision statement, and having a robust set of standards helped us consider areas, themes, contexts we might have missed, and highlight our areas we've chosen to focus on.
All right, so looking at some digital literacy supports for SCOE staff, some of our top 10 are here asking questions like, why digital literacy? Why are we choosing that? How are we going to apply that? Digital tools database, something that I know Tony has already been discussing a little bit. Student privacy and accessibility tools, those affect our kids, and because some of them are in a sensitive environment. Cybersecurity training, which Andrew covers quite wonderfully in his expertise, available tech tools and technological goals to go with those, including 3 student projects implementing tech in an advisory period as kind of a capstone. Communication, leveraging technology to improve how we communicate. I think because we're all working across the district in different modes, sometimes that's a key to us being able to communicate effectively. And then monthly technology tips, which sometimes we already implement those, especially with our many newsletters going out. We have many different levels of employees in our district. And it's not just teachers. Sometimes it's staff, sometimes it's partners with our staff, sometimes it's administrative staff or people who do clerical work. So the need for cybersecurity and tools like that is very, very important to us. We also want to include not just school site employees, but county office employees, because we are a county office. So not only do we have a huge diverse group, but we do have many, many different expertises that we are trying to serve.
And Stephanie, just as we're wrapping it up here. But year 3 really is about, digging into student application. Year 2, if we can get the teachers on board, that's going to make it that much more exciting for students. So a lot of our plan is hoping to lead to these 4 things: student voice and choice, 4 C's in technology, or really in just good teaching in general, helping students find an authentic audience, and then obviously just building up their digital citizenship. I can talk today. Digital citizenship skills.
So we're winding down. We just wanted to quickly acknowledge our desire to continue to utilize the roadmap, perhaps through the year 2 community of practice that was shared out as an opportunity earlier today. And we would like to dive in deeply into some of the instructional goals. We have not yet done so. With that said, we wanted to celebrate quickly some of the successes and learnings and reflections from our team.
Yeah, so on the screen, you'll see some quotes from our team members. Just our big takeaways for our successes is that we have a digital literacy plan that we can take to our cabinet, that we can help teachers and administrators get on board with. As we've talked about before, we are a group of people that probably would have never interacted without ShiftED. So that's been really fun, and we're friends now, so that's exciting. And then our learnings, we're seeing that there's a huge variety and of different digital skills across students and teachers. There's a huge need for professional development and ongoing support in continuing to learn about how to use ed tech. And that we've got some very skilled people here at Sacramento County that they're more than qualified to start embarking upon this work.
And we're excited to kind of lead the way as a county office. As Tani just mentioned, we have a lot of knowledge within our groups, and it's time for us to break down those silos and start working together to make improvements for everyone.
Finally, our next steps, we are excited to continue as a team and actually added additional team members to our group heading into that second year Tani alluded to. We're excited to also share our findings and our plans with a variety of SCOE leaders. Lastly, we hope that perhaps we can support districts in our county through a similar process. So thank you, Stephanie, Jason, for a bit of the extra time. We're excited to share our plans with you all. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share and back